Hi, your friendly neighborhood OO developer here to remind you that OO practices and principles apply to all sorts of things, not just software. These are principles about making decisions about how things tie together and how they work together. So, standardization is coupling. If you have a standard and everyone must use it, everything is tightly coupled to that standard. If you are going to do that, make sure that standard is universal. Make sure everything in that standard applies to literally everything that must use it. Also, make sure that you have stabilized that standard. Things that become standard can't change easily. The moment you set a standard and everyone has to use it is the moment you have increased the cost of changing that. So let's say today you decide that everyone must go through a specific process in order to release their code to production. And as part of that process, everybody has to raise their right hand twice. And that is the standard that you've laid out. And let's say in about 2 months, you discover that asking people to do that is expensive. And really what you want to do is only have them raise their right hand twice in certain situations. And you need to roll that out now to fix that problem. Here's the deal now. Now that you've standardized, everyone's using it, you now have to communicate the change, figure out a process for rolling out the change, figure out how to support people during the change. The cost of changing that standard is expensive. So you are tightly coupled to it. Make sure it's stable, make sure it's not going to change. Second thing to worry about when you are standardizing. Because you are tightly coupled, if that standard is wrong, broken, has a defect, the impact is compounded. If only 5 people are doing something and it's wrong, only 5 people are impacted. If literally everyone in your organization is doing something and it is expensive or incorrect, guess what? Everyone's impacted. Problem number 3, you can only move as fast as your slowest group. Because standards must apply universally to everyone, you may roll out something that makes perfect sense for about 80% of your teams. But 20% of your teams are ready to mature past that, or maybe already had. If you roll out a standard that applies to everyone, you're going to take that 20% and make them less productive, less effective. You're also going to make it so that no one can mature past that, even if they're ready. They can't even experiment to mature past it. You can only move all at once or not at all. Make very, very sure when you are standardizing something that you are doing it because it is universal, unlikely to change, and is fairly stable so that even your most mature teams will have no impact or no problem using it. This is a big deal. It means your standards should be few and far between, and instead you should have few standards. You should have more buffets of options. Here's different things you can do depending on situations, and then even more things that are open to choice at team level or even individual level as they grow. Standards do not make it better. They make reporting easier. They make work harder. So make sure when you are standardizing that you are making wise decisions and not just doing it because it feels like standards might make your report simpler.